Down, they're looking the lower part of his body. He's done a nice job, evidently, at right tackle, getting his second start of the season. They give him a look.
The hard-hitting action of American football continues on NASN, the home of the NFL. And this week, we have another chance to watch one of the great teams in NFL history. Live Sunday night, Tom Brady leads the Patriots when they face the Philadelphia Eagles. Then on Monday night, the Miami Dolphins head to Pittsburgh to take on the first-place Pittsburgh Steelers. Eagles-Patriots live Sunday night. Dolphins-Steelers live Monday night. The NFL on NASN.
Is this the year the Cup comes to Buffalo?
To Carolina?
To Pittsburgh?
Is this the year someone scores 50 and 38?
And 37? And 36? Is this the year someone scores 200 points?
Is this the year kids start taping their sticks like Stahl?
Is this the year someone scores 93?
Is this the year a forward becomes unstoppable?
Is this the year a goalie stops everything?
Is this the year we finally figure out who's Dad's favorite?
Is this the year?
Is this the year?
Этот год? Is this the year?
Is this the year?
Watch all the top teams playing in the biggest games in the best North American sports leagues all year round, only on NASN. See the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Stanley Cup Finals, college football's Bowl Championship Series, March Madness, the Arena Bowl, the Grey Cup, and the NASCAR Busch Series. Plus, enjoy a packed schedule of regular season action, playoff games, and leading sports programming. NASN is your home for North American sports. Log on to NASN.com for information.
Second of the year, was inactive the last 2 weeks with a broken thumb and something in the lower part of his body, a knee or something else. And his frustration obvious as Blaine Saipaia comes in at right tackle.
Yeah, Blaine Saipaia, he came in last week and spelled George Foster, so he has gotten some playing time there at the right tackle position.
Did give up 2 sacks last week to Strahan, 2 of his 3, and down goes Kitna. And Saipaia is right there in the middle of it, the right tackle. It's Campman, his second of the day.
Yeah, well, this is the bull rush here from Aaron Campman. You know, Saipaia comes in, he knows he's got a new guy, he wants to test him out, just tries to go right through him and pushes him right back into John Kitna. And then is able to make the sack. You know, coming into this game, Aaron Campman had gone the last 2 weeks without a sack, which was a big drought for him. It was the longest streak he had gone this season. Well, now he's already gotten 2 sacks today.
That sack pushes the Lions out of the edge of field goal range as Nick Harris tries to knock it down inside the 20. It's returned by Woodson. Has room. Charles Woodson, the far side of the field. And it's a touchdown saving tackle by Alex Lewis. If Alex Lewis does not make that play, it's a touchdown for Woodson.
Well, it looked like Jared Bush was in position to make the block on Alex Lewis, but he just didn't get turned around and pick him up. I guess he just didn't think that he was going to be in a position to make the tackle. You see Jared Bush right here. He could have gotten back on him, and if he makes that block, it's a touchdown. A good job by Lewis continuing to play and get over there and save a touchdown.
What a good return by Woodson. 34-yard return by Charles Woodson. That's his longest of the year, and he came within 1 tackler of breaking that for a touchdown. Starting at their own 46 with under a minute to play in the first quarter. Nice move by Donald Driver, who picks up 8. And for a report on Jonathan Scott, let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, the news isn't good for Jonathan Scott. He had to be helped into the tunnel area. He's gone up to the locker room. He has a hamstring injury, Joe. His return is questionable. Back to you.
You know, it's just a shame because, as you said, Joe, I mean, he's been missing some games because of his broken thumb. He finally gets a chance to get back in there and play, and then only to come out with another injury. I mean, that's hard, continuing to rehab just to try to get back onto the field.
2nd down and 2 over the middle, and Driver had, I think it was Kalimba Edwards with his left arm draped all over him. No flag is thrown. It's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, you're right. Kalimba Edwards was all over him. I think Donald Driver was going, man, these linebackers have gotten bigger. Kalimba Edwards, defensive end, primarily a pass rushing specialist, and has really played well for this Lions team.
3rd down and 2. Pass is juggled and dropped by Corn Robinson. 4th down.
The one thing you don't see a lot of from the Detroit Lions is matched up man-to-man outside one-on-one, but that's what they showed him there. Fernando Bryant in coverage, and a pretty tough catch there. I mean, obviously a high ball, and when you're running a slant, knowing that a safety is getting ready to barrel down on you, it's a hard catch to make.
3 possessions for Green Bay, no first downs, as this punt sails into the end zone off the foot of John Ryan. So there's 4 seconds left in the quarter, and we look ahead to Sunday's games here on Fox, as Jonathan Scott can't bring himself to start pedaling. Vikings at the Giants is a big early game on Sunday. Redskins and Bucks, the first place Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the 49ers at the Cardinals are late, and the Cardinals are back to the 500 mark, and they're only a game out in the NFC West.
Well, it's the time of year when you get to see really how the playoff situation's shaping up. All these games now as we move through, you always talk get to Thanksgiving and see where you're at, but from that point through the rest of the year, that's when you find out what you're all about.
Last play of the quarter, and it's Kevin Jones over the left side, and it is obvious to all that Mike Martz has it in his mind that he is going to run the ball today. So far so good. 6-0 Lions after 1. Back after this on Fox.
Greetings are different. The need to feel welcome is the same. You don't just stay here, you belong.
Okay, what do we got? For Reebok official NFL jerseys and much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Hi there, folks. I'm Tim McCarver, thanking you for watching my show exclusively here on NASN, Europe's leading channel for North American sports. Join me each week as I conduct in-depth interviews with the biggest stars from the world of sports. Whether you enjoy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you name it. Check out NASN.com for the latest schedules and guest lists, and we'll see you right here on Chevrolet's Tim McCarver Show on NASN.
Packers do not have a first down, 17 total yards. An impressive start for the Lions. Been able to move the ball 3 times, but have only the 6 points. Play action from Kitna down the middle, and it's picked off by Rouse. Aaron Rouse, the safety, with his second in as many weeks, returns it for Green Bay. Each side with a turnover and great field position at the 11 for the Packers after the Aaron Rouse interception.
Yeah, Aaron Rouse, who has gotten his opportunity because of the injury to Nick Collins, he just breaks on this very well. You're going to see him right here, 37. Calvin Johnson comes across, and I think Kitna was expecting Calvin to flatten that thing out a little bit and cross Rouse's face. But Rouse just got a great jump on the ball and was able to get to the football before Calvin Johnson did. at that point for the interception.
So Rouse had one last week against Carolina, gets one today on Thanksgiving. First down from the 11, a quick setup and throw, touchdown Green Bay Jennings. And for Greg Jennings, that is touchdown number 8.
Yeah, and that's why Detroit doesn't play a lot of man-to-man coverage. Jennings is able to get inside of Travis Fisher. And the one thing you know you're going to get when you're playing the Packers, you're going to get the slant. And you saw Fisher start to the outside and just open the door there for Jennings to run the slant, free release, easy touchdown.
And so just like that, despite a dominating first quarter by the Lions, the interception thrown by Kitna. First turnover of the day for Detroit into the arms of Rouse. The good return. And then Brett Favre took care of the rest. 20th touchdown of the season for number 4.
Hockey Fights Cancer has raised more than $9 million for cancer care, research, and awareness. Don't give up. Join our hockey family in the fight against cancer. Log on to NHL.com and join the fight. Don't give up.
Packed house here at Ford Field. Thanksgiving Day football and a 7-6 Green Bay lead. Opening minute of the second quarter. Greg Jennings has at least one touchdown reception in 7 of the 9 games he's played this year. An impressive start to his season as Kayson takes it and returns it out across the 20. Gets out to the 23, and that is all. So here's Detroit with a football yet again. They pretty much dominated the first quarter, and yet 4 seconds of your Thanksgiving was spent on that scoring drive by the Green Bay Packers, and they're leading by 1.
And that's what happens. I mean, now if you're Detroit and you look at the fact that you had the ball down there on the 1-yard line, but because of the penalty on Raiola came back, you settle for the field goal. Then you get the turnover, and then you're not able to get anything done there either. And so you come away with field goals, one play by a Green Bay, and they take the lead. I mean, this is a team that's very opportunistic. Green Bay is.
How are the Lions going to answer? Sticking with the run is Mike Martz, calling for Kevin Jones, who picks up 3.
And I think that, you know, as well as Detroit has run the football, and they certainly are running the ball very well, and that's encouraging, and that's something that they will continue to do. But I think when it's all said and done, Mike Martz knows that this is an offense that has to make plays in the passing game, and it's early, but so far they just haven't been able to do that. They're just a little out of sync, and they kind of have been out of sync now for the last couple of weeks.
All of us at Fox want to thank the members of the armed services who were in our studio today during our pregame show on this Thanksgiving. 2nd down and 7. Jones carries it again. Kevin Jones gets that last hit from Papinga, picks up 8, and gets a Lions first down.
You know, this is probably as good as Kevin Jones has looked. I mean, he had the Liz Frank injury last year, and that's a tough one to come back from. We're hearing more and more guys. Deuce Staley, if you remember back a few years ago with the Philadelphia Eagles, he had it. And, you know, trying to come back from that injury is hard, particularly for a runner. And Kevin Jones, they will tell you, he's still not 100%. But, you know, today he's done a heck of a job running the football.
And he gets it again. Trying to bounce it, and a nice play by Bigby, who came up from a safety spot. And it's just a run of 2 yards.
The one thing I've always liked about these Green Bay Packer corners, whether it's Charles Woodson or Al Harris, I mean, they're physical. You take that. I mean, he didn't. You say, well, he can have contact within 5 yards. He got about 1 yard off the line of scrimmage before he was on his back.
That was Mike Furry. These are Green Bay corners that play bump coverage. They're right up on the receivers. Harris across from Roy Williams, and that's where Kitna goes with it. And he and Roy Williams were not on the same page. It's 3rd down.
And the one thing about, you know, Green Bay, and I know those Packer fans out there, they recognize this because Charles Woodson and Al Harris, they get physical, and there's Charles Woodson now. But they're a physical group that play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and so for an offensive system like what Mike Martz likes to run, so much of it is based on timing. And when you disrupt the receiver's timing off the line of scrimmage, then it's hard for the quarterback to know exactly when to turn the ball loose, because so much of him knowing that is based on his footwork. And I think that's what's creating some of the problems here in this first half for Detroit.
3rd down and 8. Over the middle, left alone, Kason. And Avian is wrapped up inside the 45 to the 44, a 20-yard completion to the Lions running back.
You know, I had a chance to visit with Mike Martz yesterday, and he thought the one area where they may be able to get a play was down the middle of the field to their running backs. But he said that we really don't have a running back in the mode of a Marshall Faulk like what he had in St. Louis. The closest they have is Avion Kason. And so they're able to spread them out, get the safeties out of the middle, and hit a big play.
Duckett carries it right into the middle of the pile, and he picks up 1. First guy there was A.J. Hawk. So, and here we go with Raiola and Cullen Jenkins getting into it. Raiola's all fired up today.
Well, he sure is. He was a storyline coming in based on the interaction with Nick Barnett, and then, of course, the penalty. And you know, there's a shot there at the end of the play, which Jenkins didn't like. Gives him an elbow into the back.
2nd down and 9. Kevin Jones to the 40, pushes to the 39. 3rd down coming up. We showed it to you coming on the air before the game, and this is an hour before the start of the game. Something Vince McMahon would be proud of, with Dominic Raiola and Nick Barnett nose to nose.
Well, Dominic Raiola, I mean, not that he ever needs anything to get him going. He's been a good player for this offensive line. He's one of those guys, like a lot of centers in this league, just a great work ethic, plays hard, will scrap, and he's certainly in that mode in this game.
On 3rd down, it's Johnson with a good play by Tramon Williams. He's out there locked up one-on-one with Calvin Johnson, and he made the play. It's 4th down. Let's go for a report on Charles Woodson. Here's Pam.
Yeah, an important member of the defensive secondary and Packer special teams. He's gone back into the locker room, Joe. He's being looked at for a toe injury. His return is questionable. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you. And so they check on Charles Woodson, who has been terrific. Tied for 5th in the NFL with his 4 interceptions, doing a good job returning punts. Line drive punt by Harris, looked all pretty, but drives right into the end zone. Aaron Campman has been bull rushing all day long. Went right through Saipaia. And John Kitna felt him biting at his ankles. Frustration after the incompletion.
Live NHL continues on NASN with an exclusive doubleheader. It's another chapter in the most storied rivalry in all of hockey as the Canadiens battle the Leafs. Then the Stanley Cup champion Ducks travel to Vancouver for a Western Conference matchup. A live NHL doubleheader this Tuesday only on NASN.
Is this the year the cup comes to Buffalo?
To Carolina?
To Pittsburgh?
Is this the year someone scores 50 and 38?
And 37.
In 36? Is this the year someone scores 200 points?
Is this the year kids start taping their sticks like Stahl?
Is this the year someone scores 93?
Is this the year a forward becomes unstoppable?
Is this the year a goalie stops everything?
Is this the year we finally figure out who's dad's favorite?
Is this the year? Is this the year?
Этот год? Is this the year?
Is this the year?
Green Bay Packers have 28 total yards, no rushing yards, 1 first down, have had the ball for 3 minutes and lead the game 7-6. From their own 20. Favre, a screen. Ryan Grant, good play. Langston Moore came through the blocking and made the play right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
What a great play by Langston Moore as a defensive lineman. I mean, clearly when you've got a screen on, you're hoping that that guy will take the bait and rush the passer. And, you know, these guys have gotten so much better at feeling when a lineman is leaving them and knowing when the screen is coming. I mean, he almost was able to knock that ball loose.
Well, you figure if there's one area of importance and expertise for Rod Marinelli, the head coach, it's going to be the play of this defensive line. Favre was looking to heave one, and now he slings it for Driver, who gets in behind the defense, makes a play, stays on his feet, gets a vicious hit at the end of it, and it's a 38-yard completion.
And the Packers know that in order to give Favre that kind of time throwing the football, they've got to be able to block Sean Rogers up front. You're going to see Sean Rogers here, 92, and they put 2 guys on him. And so he's not able to get the push that he would like to, and Favre worked that way, which then afforded him the time, and more importantly, afforded Donald Driver the time to get down the field that far to get the completion.
38 yards from Brett Favre. A blitz coming. Favre in trouble. He gets drilled as he lets it go. It's Sims. Ernie Sims on a blitz, and he got there just ahead of the throw.
Sneaking around the backside. Favre didn't see him start to work that way. Here he is. And then he comes around the backside to Brett. Brett checked him, but he didn't see Ernie Sims coming off the edge. And he gets it out just in time. You know, Ernie Sims, I tell you, he's one of those guys who has played exceptionally well in his 2nd year. I know a lot of people here in Detroit feel that he has had a Pro Bowl season. And as they start to win more and more games and get into the playoffs, he'll start getting the recognition that he deserves.
Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. Found a hole in the defense, survives a hit, and has a first down inside the 25. Kenoy Kennedy popped in first, and Jones somehow stayed on his feet.
That's one thing about these Green Bay Packer receivers. I think that part of playing in Green Bay and being a good receiver for this group is you got to be pretty tough. You know, Donald Driver, I think he sets the tone for this entire group, and James Jones takes a big hit, you know, right along the sideline and just keeps on going. Now, Kenoy Kennedy is known as a pretty big hitter, and he sure laid one on him there.
18-yard completion to Jones. 2 big plays from Favre, and now looking for another, and it's Donald Driver who somehow goes around Alexander, makes the play, and picks up 19 more.
You know, Donald Driver, we've talked about it before, Joe. I mean, just what a dependable guy he is. He's got exceptional hands, the ball thrown up, and then he just concentrates on it as he's juggling it and able to bring it in. You know, you could tell that's good coverage. I mean, if you're Brett Favre, you see that, you say that's good coverage, but he has so much confidence in Driver that he turns it loose anyway.
Good coverage by Keith Smith. Could not make the play on the ball, and Ryan Grant plows in for the touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run by Ryan Grant after Brett Favre completions of 38, 18, and 19 yards to get him down to the 5.
You get big plays in the passing game and you chew up big chunks, and that's why you're able to come away with touchdowns as opposed to field goals. Pretty good movement there. Corey Hall kicks him out. Paris Lennon opens the lane there inside for Ryan Grant.
And just like that, it's an 8-point lead. 3 good catches for Brett Favre down the field. Driver with a couple, Jones with another. And the rushing.
The hard-hitting action of American football continues on NASN, the home of the NFL. It's crunch time with the playoffs getting closer. Every game is critical in the hunt to advance, and NASN has the best matchups. This Sunday, it's a live doubleheader. First, the Minnesota Vikings take on the New York Giants. Then the Baltimore Ravens head to San Diego to battle the Chargers. Coverage begins with Sunday NFL Countdown, live this Sunday on NASN.
These guys look fantastic. I'm so proud.
Join the Reebok Hockey Revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Tradition. Pride. Teamwork. Spirit.
He's something. 25-20, and he scores! Tigers win! Holy cow!
Heartbreak. Glory. NCAA college football on NASN.
We always had our traditional Thanksgiving in Kalamazoo, where we live in Kalamazoo, and we'd sit around the table and just have a good time, thanking God for what He's done for us and things that we will be thankful for. Just thankful for family, just thankful for being together. And family is important. It's our strength. It's our lifeline.
And our thanks to Gwendolyn Jennings, and her son Greg is rapidly becoming one of the best big play receivers in the NFL.
Sure is, and had a chance to meet Mrs. Jennings yesterday at the hotel. What a great lady she seems to be, and doesn't take long to see why Greg Jennings is the player and the person that he's turned out to be either.
Kason on the return for Detroit. Has room to run, has a lane, might go. The kicker to beat down the sideline, and catching up to him and making the play was Tramon Williams. Mason Crosby slowed him a hair, but Kason with a huge return of 74 yards.
Well, you talk about doing something that this team desperately needed to give them some field position. He gets in behind the wedge. They do a good job. You see the lead right there, Langston Moore. Again, a defensive lineman there protecting on the wedge that gets Kason inside and then back out to the sideline. What a great job by that unit.
And good hustle by Tramon Williams to go and catch him. He ran him down, saved a touchdown. Kitna to throw. End zone, short and incomplete, nearly picked off by Bush. Calvin Johnson, the intended receiver, and it was not there at all.
No, and that was a ball that Jared Bush, you know, it looked like he very easily could have had an interception. Just not a well-thrown ball by John Kitna at all. I don't know if he was expecting something different from Calvin Johnson. You know, what we've seen is a few plays already that Calvin Johnson has been a part of that haven't turned out too well, whether those were poor routes or Kitna and him not on the same page, whatever it may be. And maybe that explains why Calvin Johnson hasn't played more than what he has up to this point.
Handoff is to Kevin Jones. That's the part of the attack that's been working as Colin Cole makes the play. The running game for Detroit, a gain of 3, and it's 3rd down for the Lions.
Yeah, and I mean, again, to kind of go back to what happened there in that first quarter, you know, when you get opportunities to get the ball down in here, you know, it's not theoretically in the red zone because they're not inside the 20-yard line right now. But when you get this close to begin a possession, I mean, you got to be able to come away with touchdowns, and that's really been the difference so far in this game. The Packers have gotten them, even though they haven't had many opportunities, and the Lions have not.
Kitna under fire, and down he goes. KGB, the first one there. A loss of 6 and another sack by this Green Bay defensive front. And Kabir Baja-Biamila is slow to get up.
You know, these guys, Aaron Cameron on the one side, and then you bring in Kabir Baja-Biamila on the other, and, you know, both of them able to get pressure, and Kitna just not able to avoid it. On the outside, this time they're looking at Roy Williams, and Al Harris just doing a good job redirecting him and not giving Kitna anywhere to really throw the football.
3 Packer sacks today. And they have 29.5 of the 31 sacks by the Green Bay defense. KGB gets the latest. They look at him on the field. Field goal try when we come back.
NASN brings you unrivaled coverage of the best sports North America has to offer. Get the best seats in the house for the biggest games in the best leagues 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Watch the NFL from preseason all the way to the playoffs with over 60 regular season games, the postseason, and live coverage of Super Bowl 42 from Phoenix. Get live coverage of every game of the World Series and don't miss an inning of the MLB regular season with up to 260 regular season games and the All-Star Game live. Experience the most comprehensive coverage of the NHL anywhere in Europe with over 200 live regular season games, the 2008 NHL All-Star Game, and the Stanley Cup Finals live. NASN takes you to pit lane in the high-octane world of NASCAR with live Busch Series racing and keeps you up to date with the Nextel Cup and Truck Series with daily episodes of NASCAR Now. Get courtside with the best conferences in NCAA college basketball with a packed schedule of games between the top teams and unrivaled coverage of March Madness. See the power and skill of the finest players in college football with full season and bowl series coverage, including all the BCS games, live. And with all your favorite news, highlights, and analysis shows, including PTI and Around the Horn, you won't miss a minute from any of your favorite sports all season long. Log on to NASN.com now and join the world of NASN, your leader in North American sports.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 29 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. This is your home for NASCAR.
That guy, number 38, saved a touchdown for Green Bay. Tramon Williams on special teams, chasing down Kaysen. After the 74-yard return, it's now a 45-yard try by Jason Hansen, who's 3 for 3. But Detroit again held out of the end zone this time. Kaysen on the return, and Tramon Williams just literally running him down.
Well, and you just never know, Joe. I mean, on those types of plays, you know, sometimes guys will give half-hearted efforts. You just never really know when a play that you potentially can make is going to be the difference in a ball game. And Tramon Williams, to his credit, he continued to run after him and was able to make the tackle. And, you know, what would appear to be, you know, pretty good field position that they should go then in and score a touchdown. And the defense is able to hold him to a field goal. Nice work.
And Tramon Williams, a guy who on a pooch punt by John Casey last week returned 194 yards for a touchdown. And one other point about the Green Bay defense, Tramon Williams now is going to get a lot more time in the secondary because A, Detroit likes to spread you out. B, Charles Woodson is out with a toe injury, and there have been those who have hoped that he would be taken off the punt return team. He was injured on the punt return. That's the information we're getting. He has not been back since a punt return, and he left with a toe injury, and that is a vital part of the defense for Mike McCarthy and Bob Sanders.
No question. I mean, he has played so well, you know, not just this year, but last year. probably should have been in the Pro Bowl last season. And I think one good thing is Mike McCarthy did tell us last night, I'm going to play more people in the secondary. Juwan Williams is going to get playing time. Of course, Jared Bush. So these guys came into the game expecting to get a lot of playing time, and now they will.
But with a big game against Dallas coming up, the Packers need Charles Woodson healthy. Out across the 25 and knocked down near the 27 is Corin Robinson. And so back to work goes Brett Favre. December 2nd, college football's greatest teams find out who they will play in college football's greatest games. It's a live primetime special that you can only see right here on Fox. The All-State BCS Selection Show Sunday, December 2nd at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and at the moment, top 5 in the BCS: LSU, Kansas, West Virginia, Missouri, Ohio State, and Kansas and Missouri play at Arrowhead on Saturday night. First down for Green Bay. Out of the backfield, it's Corey Hall, and the fullback picks up 4.
In visiting with Brett Favre yesterday, he was talking about, how much he really enjoys the quick turnaround playing on Thanksgiving. And one of the reasons why he enjoys it so much is that he said the offensive coordinators can't get too cute with the game plans. We got to go to the basics. We're not going to put in a lot of new exotic things, and we can just go play football. And, you think of Brett Favre.